before humans reached the darkest layers of water, before science understood life where light cannot penetrate, there already existed a world where darkness hides the strangest creatures on Earth. Beneath the deep ocean, amid immense pressure, silent cold, and absolute silence, hidden creatures live, hunt, and survive in ways almost beyond imagination. Welcome to the deep ocean, hidden creatures in the depths. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to keep creating more quality content. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts on the video and tell us where you're watching from so we can discuss together. Let's begin. In the middle of the cold and violent waters of the Atlantic, there is a predator capable of commanding respect even from the great white shark. It is the orca, also known as the killer whale. It is an apex predator with one of the most developed social intelligences in the natural world. Although it is called a killer whale, the orca is actually the largest member of the dolphin family. An adult male can exceed 30 feet in length and weigh between 6 and 8 tons. It possesses a dorsal fin that stands erect like a massive black blade cutting through the sea surface. Its black and white contrast makes it one of the most recognizable creatures in the ocean. But that imposing appearance is only a small part of its true power. The orca does not hunt by brute force alone. It hunts with strategy, memory, and almost military coordination. Each group of orcas is a complex society with its own language, culture, and hunting techniques passed down from generation to generation. Some populations specialize in hunting salmon. Other populations pursue sharks, seals, dolphins, and even large whales. In the North Atlantic, orcas often cooperate in groups to execute calculated hunts. They can take turns chasing schools of fish until they are exhausted. When a seal rests on the ice, several orcas can rush together to create powerful waves and wash it into the water. Occasionally, they also attack great white sharks by flipping them upside down. This causes temporary paralysis before the final blow. But behind that fierce image lies an animal with a surprising emotional life. Orcas remain bonded to matriarchal families for their entire lives. Calves learn from their mothers how to hunt, navigate, communicate, and recognize dangerous areas. When a member is injured or aged, the group can slow down to wait for them, rather than abandoning them. Scientists have even recorded orca mothers carrying the bodies of their dead calves for days. This is considered a profound show of grief. For humans, the orca is both a symbol of power and a reminder of the ocean's intelligence. Although it is at the top of the food chain, attacks on people in the wild are extremely rare. On the contrary, they often show curiosity, observing boats and interacting mysteriously with divers. However, not even these powerful warriors are free from the pressures of the modern world. Chemical pollution accumulates in their bodies. The noise from large ships and military sonar disrupts their echolocation capabilities. Climate change reduces fish populations, forcing many orcas to travel further to find food. Even so, among the cold waves of the Atlantic, the orca continues its journey. It continues hunting, protecting its family, and dominating the ocean with extraordinary intelligence. It is not just a warrior of the sea. It is living proof that true strength does not lie in muscles alone. It also resides in memory, intelligence, and the unity of an entire community. Amidst the deep blue waters of the Atlantic, where currents never stop moving, life must constantly adapt to survive. The bottlenose dolphin appears as one of the most beautiful symbols of intelligence, closeness, and community spirit in the marine world. With its short and characteristic snout, its bright eyes, and a mouth that seems to trace a permanent smile, the bottlenose dolphin has long become one of the closest connections between humans and the ocean. But behind that friendly appearance lies an extraordinarily developed brain. It possesses a complex society and surprisingly intelligent hunting strategies. They communicate through whistles, clicks, and subtle body signals. Each individual can even have a kind of signature whistle, similar to a proper name in the human world. They recognize each other, remember their companions, and learn from experience. They transmit hunting techniques to new generations to ensure their future. In many areas of the Atlantic, bottlenose dolphins cooperate to push schools of fish into shallow waters. They create bubble walls or take turns attacking until the prey has no escape. But what makes the bottlenose dolphin special is not just its ability to hunt, it is also its curiosity, its social behavior, and that strange bond that sometimes seems to unite it with humans. In numerous stories from fishermen and divers, dolphins have swum around people in danger. They have helped them stay on the surface or guided boats away from dangerous areas. At times, in the middle of a cold and infinite ocean, a group of dolphins does not seem like just wildlife. They act as silent guardians of the fragile border between life and death. For fishermen, bottlenose dolphins can be a sign of waters rich in fish. For scientists, they are living proof that intelligence does not belong to dry land alone. They hunt to survive, but they also leap out of the water as if celebrating the pure joy of being alive. They are tireless travelers who never stop swimming, exploring, and playing among the waves. In the vast world of the Atlantic, the bottlenose dolphin reminds us that nature is not made only of strength and cruelty. There also exists loyalty, memory, emotion, and deeper connections than we ever imagined. Perhaps when a dolphin swims alongside a boat and looks at humans with those bright eyes, the ocean is sending us a message. We must understand it, respect it, and protect it before it is too late. Beneath the cold blue skin of the Atlantic, a shadow moves silently. At first, it is only a dark shape under the waves until a dorsal fin cuts the surface like a blade. A pale belly flashes from below while a mouth opens, lined with rows of serrated teeth. For centuries, this image has haunted the human imagination, labeling the great white shark as a monster. But the truth is much more mysterious and much more misunderstood. The great white shark is one of the most iconic apex predators of the ocean. Its body seems built from fear itself. With a torpedo-like structure and dark grey back, it possesses a ghost white underside, black eyes, and massive jaws. It has nearly 300 triangular teeth arranged in replaceable rows. Adults typically reach 13 to 20 feet in length and weigh over 4,500 pounds. Every detail of its body is designed for stealth, power, and sudden violence. However, the great white is not a mindless killer. It is an intelligent, cautious, and highly adapted hunter. Many attacks on humans are believed to be cases of mistaken identity due to resembling a seal. Most of the time, great whites do not seek out humans as prey. They investigate, test, and withdraw with caution. The terrifying reputation we have given them says more about human fear than about the shark itself. In the Atlantic, they undertake long and mysterious migrations. Some travel from feeding grounds in New England to warmer oceanic waters. These journeys can cover thousands of miles across the blue abyss. They navigate through a world without roads using the Earth's magnetic field. They are also guided by water temperature, currents, and chemical traces like an invisible map. Their hunting is not chaos, it is pure calculation. Great whites usually attack from below, using darkness and depth as cover. Against seals and large fish, they rely on a devastating burst of speed. They are patient predators, not reckless monsters of the ocean. Their partially warm-blooded bodies allow them to stay active in colder waters. This gives them an advantage that few fish possess in nature. But the Atlantic has another traveller built for speed, the Atlantic bluefin tuna. If the great white is a shadow, the bluefin tuna is a silver arrow. With a muscular, torpedo-shaped body and a powerful tail, this fish can cut through the water at 50 miles per hour. It crosses the Atlantic in vast migrations each year. It moves between spawning grounds in the Mediterranean and feeding grounds near the cold North Atlantic. The bluefin tuna is one of the greatest athletes in the ocean. It follows the Gulf Stream like a living missile, chasing schools of fish over thousands of miles. Its life is an endless marathon of speed and survival. However, both species are threatened by the same force: humanity. Climate change is also shifting their prey, forcing them into unfamiliar waters. The great white shark is an ancient guardian of balance. The bluefin tuna is a living engine of the open ocean that we must protect. Together, they reveal a profound truth. The most feared creatures of the sea are not monsters. They are survivors in a world that is changing too fast. Before dawn breaks over the Atlantic, when the ocean still remains covered in darkness, a sound rises from the depths. It is not the cry of a monster or the echo of a storm. It is an ancient song, haunting and powerful enough to travel miles through the black water. Somewhere beneath the surface, a giant is singing. In that song lies one of the ocean's greatest mysteries. The humpback whale is one of the most magnificent marine mammals on Earth. In the Atlantic, it becomes more than a giant. It becomes a wandering spirit of the sea. With a massive body reaching 46 to 52 feet in length, an adult humpback can weigh up to 80,000 pounds. Females are typically larger than males, a rare trait among mammals. Their dark grey or black bodies are marked with white patterns on the belly, pectoral fins, and tail. These are unique natural fingerprints that allow scientists to identify individuals. Their most striking feature is their enormous pectoral fins, which reach up to 1/3 of the body length. These long and ghostly fins move through the water with a strange elegance. It seems as if the whale were flying in slow motion under the sea. Around the head and mouth, they have small bumps called sensory tubercles. Each contains sensitive hair follicles that help detect movement and pressure. They also detect changes in the surrounding water. But the true mystery of the humpback whale is not just its size, but its voice. Males produce complex songs that can last for hours and travel dozens of miles across the ocean. These songs are not random sounds. They are structured in layers, repeated, changed, and transmitted between populations like an underwater culture. Scientists have discovered that whales from the same population can gradually change their songs at the same time. This occurs even when they are separated by enormous distances. It is as if the Atlantic itself carried their music from one giant to another. Each year, humpback whales begin one of the longest migrations in the animal kingdom. From the cold feeding areas near Greenland, Iceland, or the South Atlantic, they travel thousands of miles to breeding grounds. They head toward the Caribbean, Cape Verde, and Brazil. Some round trips can reach 12,000 miles. This is not simply migration, it is a sacred pilgrimage written in their blood. In the cold northern waters, they feed on krill and small fish, accumulating thick reserves of fat. But those waters are too harsh for newborn calves. That is why mothers travel south, fasting for months while nursing their young with rich, energy-filled milk. In calm tropical seas, calves learn to breathe and swim. They learn to survive alongside their mothers before beginning the long journey back. However, this ancient song is increasingly difficult to hear. Climate change is shifting krill and fish further north. Ship noise, sonar, and collisions threaten their migratory routes. The same ocean that once carried their voices freely is now full of human noise. Even so, the humpback whale continues to rise from the darkness. It crosses storms, freezing waters, and the infinite blue void, carrying memory, music, and life across the Atlantic. Its journey is a testament to resilience. When its song echoes in the depths, it reminds us that the ocean is not silent, it is singing, and the humpback whale is one of its oldest voices. If the humpback whale is the wandering minstrel of the ocean, then the sperm whale is the deepest diva. It is the most vertically migratory of all. They can dive to depths of up to 9,800 feet and remain submerged for hours hunting giant squid. Their horizontal migrations are equally remarkable. They travel from warm tropical waters to temperate and subpolar regions. Sperm whales exhibit the greatest sexual dimorphism among whales. Mature males average about 52 feet long, with weights of up to 45 tons. Some exceptional individuals have reached nearly 60 tons. Females are significantly smaller, averaging 36 to 43 feet and 15 to 20 tons. Their head occupies up to 1/3 of the body length. It is a massive rectangular block filled with spermaceti oil. This oil helps in buoyancy control and sound amplification. The skin is dark grey to blackish, often wrinkled toward the back. It is marked by distinctive scars from epic battles with giant squid. These marks are like battle medals engraved on their skin. The lower jaw houses hundreds of large conical teeth, used to grip prey. Sperm whales possess a wide caudal fin and a single blowhole on the left side of the head. Their life expectancy is estimated between 60 and 70 years. Some individuals possibly exceed 90 years of age. Females reach sexual maturity around 10 years, while males do so later. Calves are born at about 11 to 15 feet long, weighing approximately 1 ton. They feed on fat-rich mother's milk for nearly 2 years. Male sperm whales migrate further than females. They swim from the Caribbean to the North Atlantic, near Norway and Iceland. Females and calves usually remain in tropical waters all year. They form stable family groups to protect the younger members. The journeys of males can cover up to 9,000 miles annually. They cross the Gulf Stream and the Great Ocean Gyres. Sperm whales depend on sound as their primary navigation tool. They produce powerful clicks reaching up to 230 decibels, the loudest biological sound on Earth. These sounds serve to echolocate prey thousands of feet deep. They also serve for long-distance communication across dozens of miles. Each clan has its own click dialect, passed down from generation to generation. Their migrations are driven by prey availability. As the oceans warm, the distribution of squid changes. This forces sperm whales to travel further and deeper. Military sonar disrupts their echolocation, causing disorientation or beaching. Nonetheless, the sperm whale remains a symbol of resilience in the abyss. The epic migrations of humpback whales, sperm whales, great white sharks, and bluefin tuna do not occur in a vacuum. They follow invisible paths drawn by nature over millions of years. These trails are forged by the colossal forces of the ocean itself. The Atlantic Ocean is the second largest on the planet after the Pacific, covering about 33 million square miles. This area represents approximately 1/5 of the Earth's surface. It stretches for more than 15,000 miles from north to south, connecting the Americas with Europe and Africa. It is not simply a vast expanse of water. It is a living, dynamic system, the Earth's gigantic climate engine that pumps heat, nutrients, and oxygen across the planet. Unlike other oceans, the Atlantic plays a unique role in regulating global climate. It serves as the planet's primary heat highway, transporting warmth from the equator toward the poles. This process balances temperatures between different latitudes. This engine operates through a network of massive currents, rivers within the ocean that flow relentlessly. The most famous and critical current is the Gulf Stream, originating in the Gulf of Mexico. It flows along the east coast of the United States at a speed of 2 to 4 meters per second. This current carries heat equivalent to that of millions of nuclear power plants. Branching into the North Atlantic Current, it delivers warmth to Norway, Iceland, and the United Kingdom. Thanks to it, London enjoys a milder climate than New York. Despite being 10 degrees further north, Norwegian ports remain ice-free all year near the Arctic Circle. If the Gulf Stream weakens, Europe could face Siberian cold, but this current is part of the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, known as AMOC. It is a colossal loop of warm surface flow northward, and deep cold returns southward. Warm water cools and sinks in the North Atlantic due to increased density. This sinking pulls more water behind it, driving the conveyor belt. This overturning transports not only heat, but vital nutrients from the depths. Deep waters rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and silicon emerge in zones of convergence. This feeds massive blooms of phytoplankton, the base of the marine food web. Phytoplankton explodes in growth, creating dense green waters that become the richest fishing grounds in the world. The North Sea and the Norwegian Sea depend on these nutrients. Billions of tons of biomass are produced and consumed each year thanks to this engine. If the overturning circulation weakens, the entire food chain could collapse, from fish to whales. Beneath the Atlantic, far below the reach of storms, another world exists. It is a realm that seems less like Earth and more like the edge of another planet. Here, the ocean no longer shines blue. It turns black and movement slows down. Every laughing being must survive in a place where darkness has reigned for millions of years. At about 650 feet below the surface, the last traces of sunlight still drift like a memory. At 1,640 feet, that light weakens into a ghostly blue glow. Beyond 3,280 feet, sunlight disappears completely. From this point down, the Atlantic becomes a realm of eternal night. The pressure is already about 100 times greater than at the surface. At about 13,120 feet, the pressure reaches about 400 atmospheres, enough to crush most machines. The temperature drops close to freezing, and oxygen is scarce. This is not the bright ocean of coral reefs and dolphins. There are no kelp forests or clouds of colorful fish. Instead, life depends on marine snow, fragments of dead organisms falling from above. For many deep-sea creatures, this slow rain is the only connection to the world of light. From this darkness, life has created some of the strangest forms. Here, creatures do not just hide in the dark, they are part of it. Many produce their own light through bioluminescence, turning their bodies into living lanterns. Some use light to attract prey, others to confuse enemies or communicate. In a world without sun, light itself becomes a weapon. Among the most mysterious hunters is the giant squid. Reaching lengths of up to 43 feet, it drifts in the black water like a legend made flesh. Its eyes can measure up to 11 inches in diameter, allowing it to detect the faintest movements. It attacks suddenly from the gloom with long tentacles bristling with suckers. The white scars on sperm whales are silent evidence of battles fought in the depths. Nearby, anglerfish wait like nightmares suspended in the void. The female carries a glowing lure over her mouth, filled with bioluminescent bacteria. Her jaws open wide, swallowing victims almost as large as herself. Lanternfish flash lights across their bodies like secret signals. Dumbo octopuses glide silently with ear-like fins, moving like ghosts. Here, survival is slow and patient. Energy is too precious to waste, so a meal may not present itself again for weeks. But the abyss is not only a place of hunger. On the seabed, life also gathers around hydrothermal vents. There, mineral-rich, superheated water gushes into the freezing ocean. Around these vents, chemosynthetic bacteria create an ecosystem that does not depend on the sun. Shrimp, crabs, and giant tube worms cluster in these dark oases. They live alongside the heat, poison, and crushing pressure of the abyss. Beneath the darkness of the Atlantic, below the marine snow and glowing hunters, the ocean hides something even more ancient, the geological heartbeat of the planet. Here, the seabed is not dead. It is moving, fracturing, burning, and being born again. Along the center of the Atlantic stretches the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a colossal underwater mountain range about 10,000 miles long. It is longer than the Himalayas and the Andes combined, though most of it is hidden under miles of water. Like a giant seam on the planet, it divides the Atlantic into two sides and reveals that the Earth is not a silent stone. It is a living world that is still reshaping itself from within. Through the cracks, molten rock rises from the Earth's mantle. When it meets the freezing water, it cools and hardens, forming new basaltic crust. Year after year, the Atlantic widens by only a few centimeters, a movement too slow for the human eye, but it is powerful enough to change the shape of the planet over millions of years. But the real mystery is the hydrothermal vents. At depths between 6,500 and 13,120 feet, cracks in the seabed release mineral-laden, superheated water. This water can be over 750 degrees Fahrenheit, but remains liquid due to the enormous pressure. When it meets the near-freezing water, the minerals solidify, building tall black and white chimneys. These structures look like underwater industrial chimneys rising from another world. From them pour iron, sulfur, copper, zinc, methane, and hydrogen. For most life, this would be toxic, but here, poison becomes food. Chemosynthetic bacteria create a foundation for a hidden community. Giant tube worms with no mouth or stomach, blind white shrimp, and crabs move through clouds of mineral smoke. Fish gather around the heat as if they were standing in front of a campfire in the abyss. Scientists believe that environments like these may resemble the places where life first arose on Earth. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is a forge where new ocean floor is created. It is perhaps one of the oldest cradles of life itself. In those dark gardens, the Atlantic reminds us that life does not always begin in the light. The Atlantic is the cradle of the most powerful storms on Earth. Each year, in the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, dozens of tropical storms form. Several intensify into hurricanes with winds exceeding 74 miles per hour. No other ocean generates storms of such destructive power and duration. The reasons lie in its unique geography. Sea surface temperatures above 80 degrees Fahrenheit provide immense energy. Minimal land interference allows storms to grow freely. These storms generate waves tens of feet high and storm surges. Marine animals suffer from extreme noise and pressure changes. Whales dive deep, and octopuses can enter states of panic. Within this ocean exist particularly dangerous regions where life can vanish in the blink of an eye. The most famous is the Bermuda Triangle. It is a region bounded by Bermuda, Miami, and San Juan, Puerto Rico, covering up to 1.5 million square miles. It has been the scene of hundreds of mysterious disappearances of ships and planes. The causes are usually a combination of natural factors. The Gulf Stream flows here at high speed, capable of carrying debris hundreds of miles in a few hours. Sudden storms are frequent, and the seafloor topography includes deep trenches. The Puerto Rico Trench is more than 26,000 feet deep. Although science has demystified many legends, the Bermuda Triangle endures as a symbol of primal fear. It reminds us that the sea still holds unfathomable mysteries. No matter how advanced our technology is, humans remain vulnerable to the forces of nature. The Atlantic continues to challenge our understanding with its immense power. Under the fury of hurricanes, many Atlantic creatures change their behavior to survive. Sharks leave shallow waters, while sea turtles, rays, and coastal fish seek refuge among reefs, mangroves, and sandy bottoms. But small species are much more vulnerable. Larvae, fish eggs, young jellyfish, and tiny crustaceans can be carried far from their birthplace by violent currents. After each storm, the ocean is transformed. Sediments cover the corals. The water becomes murky, and many seagrass beds are uprooted from the seabed. However, even in the midst of chaos, life finds a way to continue. Parrotfish, groupers, barracudas, and schools of sardines gradually return to the altered waters. Thus, the Atlantic proves that its power does not only destroy, it also renews habitats, redistributes nutrients, and forces thousands of species to adapt once again. In the depths of the Atlantic lurks a phenomenon that terrifies even the largest ships. These are rogue waves, monster waves that appear suddenly and can reach heights of 100 feet or more. They are not tsunamis caused by earthquakes. They are the result of abnormal wave convergence enhanced by strong currents. A rogue wave can be 2 or 3 times higher than the surrounding swell. It can materialize in seconds and disappear as if it had never existed. They are deadly because they strike without warning, capable of capsizing ships or destroying superstructures. Scientists estimate that the probability of encountering a wave over 100 feet is approximately 1 in 1,000 voyages. This is a figure high enough to be any sailor's nightmare. The Atlantic is the zone of greatest hurricane genesis due to abundant warm water and the strong Coriolis effect. These storms do not only affect humans, but disrupt entire ecosystems. They force migratory species like sharks and whales to make drastic changes in their routes to survive the chaos. In the vast world of the Atlantic Ocean, there lives a creature of almost unreal beauty. It is the manta ray, one of the giant wings that glide silently through the deep blue. With a wingspan that can exceed 20 feet and a body capable of weighing more than a ton, the manta ray is one of the largest rays on the planet. When it moves, its enormous fins undulate gently like wings flying through the air. Seen from below, It looks like a creature from another world silently crossing the immensity of the ocean. Despite its imposing size, the manta ray is a peaceful animal. It does not possess a venomous stinger like many other rays and is practically harmless to human beings. It feeds on plankton, fish eggs, and small organisms suspended in the water. To eat, it opens its large frontal mouth and swims through food-rich waters. It uses its cephalic lobes to direct the current into its mouth. But what makes the manta ray special is not just its beauty, it is also its intelligence, as it has one of the highest brain-to-body ratios among fish. Various studies suggest that it can remember, learn, and even recognize itself in a mirror. This is an unusual sign of advanced awareness in nature. It also shows curiosity toward diverse, swimming around them in silence. It is as if it were observing a strange creature from another world. In the Atlantic, manta rays typically appear near coral reefs, tropical waters, and nutrient-rich current zones. They undertake long migrations in search of food and breeding grounds. Sometimes, several individuals gather at cleaning stations, where small fish remove parasites from their bodies. There, these calm giants hover almost motionless, like huge ships waiting patiently in a natural harbor. Manta rays are also famous for their spectacular leaps out of the water. A body weighing more than a ton can suddenly rise above the surface and fall back with force. The impact produces a sound heard from a great distance. Scientists believe this behavior could be related to communication, reproduction, or parasite removal. However, behind that peaceful beauty lies an increasingly difficult struggle for survival. Manta rays reproduce slowly and normally have a single offspring after a gestation of more than a year. This makes their populations highly vulnerable to overfishing, ghost nets, and plastic pollution. Many individuals get caught in fishing lines or collide with vessels on shipping routes. Even so, between the light that pierces the surface and the endless currents, the manta ray continues to fly within the ocean like a free spirit of the sea. It reminds us that the Atlantic is not just a place of strength and predation. It is also a home of beauty, intelligence, and an extraordinary serenity in nature. In the warm waters of the Atlantic, coral reefs rise like living cities. From afar, they seem silent as well as fragile. As they draw near, they reveal a dense world full of competition. Thousands of creatures survive among crevices as well as seagrass beds. Coral is not a rock or a plant. It is a colony of tiny animals called polyps. For thousands of years, These polyps secrete limestone skeletons. These structures accumulate layer upon layer to protect thousands of beings. During the day, the reef looks like a great underwater market. Parrotfish and butterfly fish glide among the corals. Moray eels hide in dark crevices, showing only their cold eyes. The mantis shrimp lurks, armed with a fast as well as powerful punch. The stonefish and scorpionfish almost disappear against the seabed. They wait for distracted prey to pass too close. Here, colors serve for camouflage or to warn about poison. They are also used to attract a mate or deceive enemies. A tiny sea slug can glow with almost alien colors. A cuttlefish can change its skin in seconds like a true magician. When night falls, the reef is completely transformed. Many small fish retreat while nocturnal hunters begin to move. Octopuses scour the bottom with their flexible arms. Moray eels leave their shelters and hunt in silence among the shadows. Although they occupy a small part of the ocean, reefs are extremely rich ecosystems. They are fortresses protecting countless young fish. But this living city is today more vulnerable than ever. Warming water causes coral bleaching as well as its death. Pollution and acidification weaken reefs year after year. When the coral dies, a whole world begins to fall silent. Hidden among the Atlantic reefs lives one of the most feared creatures. The stonefish does not pursue its prey with speed. It does not have a gigantic body or ferocious jaws like those of a shark, but a single accidental contact is enough to lose one's life. Its rough body covered with spines makes it look like a part of the seabed. Its colors blend perfectly with rocks and dead coral. Even experienced divers may not notice its presence. The stonefish is an absolute master of ambush. It can remain almost motionless for hours, waiting in silence. When a prey passes nearby, its huge mouth opens with speed. A powerful suction drags the prey inward before any reaction, but its most dangerous weapon is not in the bite. It possesses spines loaded with extremely powerful venom on its dorsal fin. These spines can inject toxins capable of causing intense pain. The venom causes difficulty breathing and, in severe cases, death. For many creatures, the stonefish is a living trap. It does not need to show strength, only to remain still as well as invisible. Its deformed body looks like a creature arrived from prehistory. It is the perfect image of an extreme survival strategy. The stonefish helps control small fish populations. It maintains the fragile balance of the tropical ecosystem in which it lives. The ocean is home to very dangerous silent killers. In the coastal waters of the Atlantic, coral reefs, seagrass beds, and mangroves function as natural nurseries. There, thousands of small fish find refuge before venturing into the open ocean. But these habitats are extremely sensitive. When the water warms up, becomes more acidic, or loses oxygen, corals weaken, seagrass beds recede, and nursery grounds begin to disappear. Eggs and larvae are the first to suffer. They are so small and fragile that even a slight change in temperature, salinity, or water chemistry can reduce their chances of survival. If larvae do not survive, future fish generations decline before they even have a chance to form schools. Then, predators lose food, seabirds lose prey, and the entire food web begins to weaken. In many estuaries and bays, tides mix fresh and salt water, creating nutrient-rich havens. These places seem peaceful, but they are silent factories of life for sardines, anchovies, crustaceans, and juvenile fish. When severe storms, coastal pollution, or sea level rise alter these areas, the damage does not stop at the shore. It extends into the open ocean, affecting migratory species that depend on those first links. A whale, a tuna, or a shark may seem very far from a tiny larva hidden among mangrove roots. That is why protecting coastal nursery areas does not just mean saving beautiful landscapes. It means protecting the beginning of marine life, the point where future schools of fish that will sustain the entire Atlantic are born. Climate change is reshaping the Atlantic Ocean from the surface to the depths. Warmer seas now provide more energy to tropical storms. This increases the likelihood of rapid intensification and the destructive power of hurricanes. Noe points out that recent changes are linked to warming caused by greenhouse gases. For marine life, rising temperatures create a dangerous biological trap. Bluefin tuna, white sharks, octopuses, and many fish need more oxygen as the water warms. However, warm water holds less dissolved oxygen. As prey species shift to cooler regions, predators must travel further and face greater stress. The Atlantic meridional overturning circulation is also under great pressure. This current system helps regulate climate and move nutrients across the ocean. Recent assessments show that AMOC is expected to weaken under continued warming. This could alter European winters, tropical rainfall patterns, and fishery productivity. Ocean acidification adds another layer of irreversible damage. Since the Industrial Revolution, seawater has become approximately 30% more acidic. This weakens corals, shellfish, and plankton. If these foundations collapse, the entire food web that includes fish, tuna, sharks, and whales is threatened. The Atlantic used to be one of the Earth's greatest climate stabilizers. Today, it is becoming a warning sign for the entire planet. Today, conservation in the Atlantic is no longer just about drawing lines on a map. It is a profound effort combining science, law, and technology. The current goal is to protect 30% of the ocean by the year 2030. However, by 2025, only 9 to 10% of the total has been protected. This shows both the progress and the urgency of the situation. Throughout the Atlantic, marine protected areas help safeguard coral reefs and migration routes. But protection only makes sense when effectively applied. A protected area on paper cannot save lives if illegal fishing continues. Fisheries management has helped bluefin tuna begin to recover. This is possible thanks to the establishment of strict international quotas. Whales are also receiving greater protection from maritime traffic. In parts of the US East Coast, large ships must reduce their speed in critical areas. This measure seeks to avoid deadly collisions with these marine giants. In addition, scientists are growing corals in underwater nurseries to restore damaged reefs. These efforts will not rebuild the ocean overnight, but every recovered population is a promise that life can return if we act in time. We must stop taking more than the ocean can give. The health of the Atlantic is key to the balance of life on Earth. Today, humanity understands the Atlantic better than at any other point in history. Satellites track migrations, and artificial intelligence listens to whale songs in real time. We are beginning to understand that whales possess culture, octopuses show remarkable intelligence, and sharks are ancient guardians of balance. The Atlantic is much more than a highway for global trade. It is the living world where creatures, from microscopic plankton to giant whales, fight to survive. The future of that world now depends on us. If the Atlantic could speak, what story would it tell about humanity? Would it remember us as protectors or as the generation that pushed it beyond recovery? And you? Which creature in this documentary impressed you the most? The humpback whale, the great white shark, the manta ray, or perhaps one of the strange creatures of the depths? Leave us your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed this documentary, support the channel by leaving your like, sharing the video, and subscribing. Each view and subscription helps us continue bringing hidden stories to light. Because protecting nature begins with understanding it. Understanding it begins with curiosity.